You think it's dead? Hey, I'm Jack. These are my two paintings for Purist Gallery. This is called Croon, Form, Failing and Growing, and this painting here is called Bottled Up in Heels, and they come from a larger body of work called Snaca Cast Without a Rod, and it's a large sort of 12 painting series, which is about figures in liminal spaces and the poetic nature of how oil paint reacts with burying, resurfacing imagery. And I often write before the work and then after the work. A lot of this has been kind of brought out of Nietzsche's text, Birth of Tragedy. So it's like chaos and order, Dionysus and Apollo, and that kind of playfulness and that restructuring and rigorous kind of rendering of image that happens when you abstract figuration and then kind of find it later in the process. So it's sort of painting about paintings. So this Bottled Up in Heels is kind of trying to find the ground. So the figure itself is kind of, it's the bottom half of a torso. A heel digging into the landscape is kind of leaving its mark. And then that translates to history and history translates to mark.
Mm. If market feedback in art is also a ground to find, will feedbacks affect the way you paint?
Someone could say something and say this is working and you should follow this through, but I think it's kind of, I'm always mining an idea or trying to get to somewhere that I want to reach, and I won't sort of beckon to what is happening in the contemporary art world. It's more about what turns me on as a painter and what I find necessary to explore.
So, if someone like Philip Gosson, a big figure in the arts, were to look at your work and say it's just average, how would you respond?
Giants like that in my eyes are like, if they were to reference you, I mean, I think it's irrelevant of what they say about your work. It's more about the fact that they're even looking at the work is a honor to be viewed by someone who has a great understanding and knowledge of abstraction and just painting in general.
Yet, giants are in the past. Some people say the art is dead, because it seems like everything has been tried. Do you think art can return to its glory?
I don't think art is dead. While there's still houses and people can put them in their houses, and while there's still museums, art will never die. And I think there's always a narrative or something unfolding from an image that someone can take from that, whether, like Alfred Wallace storytelling from being an old fisherman in Cornwall where I grew up, or kind of Peter Lanyon exploring the landscape. I think painting is very much alive. I think if you look at what's going on in the contemporary art world, like painting is kind of having a resurgence. It's becoming like more apparent that it's so important, especially with what's going on in the world, like negatively. I think it's really important that people have something like painting or sculpture to reside in, like the same as like literature or poetry.